Alright, y'all. It's almost 2021. Uh, Not really looking forward to it. Not really dreading it a whole lot either. It just kind of is what it is. I do believe that a lot of the year is going to suck, but it may not be as bad as me and everybody else thinks. It's not in my hands, it's in God's hands. So we just do what we can, prep as much as we can, and continue on with it. But come to think of it, maybe it kind of goes back to some biblical things with the whole way things are going and the way prepping and everything. I'm not really going to go the direction that most people that talk about this kind of stuff will go. They'll immediately jump, for how bad things are now and say, going forward, future type deal, Revelation, end of time, apocalypse, all that kind of stuff. I don't know when it is. Nobody knows the day or the hour. I'm sure, in years ago, which, the world has been looking for Jesus to come back and has also been expecting the end of time all throughout history. Every time you got bad times and bad circumstances, that's what everybody goes to. And you had, like I said, as soon as Jesus went up in the clouds, the apostles were looking for him to come back in their lifetime, and everybody from then on. Christianity and all the other religions, and even if you're not religious and stuff, usually all of them have some kind of apocalypse ending, and there's been countless different groups and people that have tried to predict the end of time for years and years and years, and if the world lasts that long, they'll continue to do so. So we're going to jump the other way. Perhaps we're coming up on 8 years or 7 years of lean times. Going back in the Old Testament with Joseph. If you remember the story, it was like 12 of them, brothers. And Joseph was the one that had prophetic visions, and his brothers was jealous of him and sold him into slavery and all that. But God worked it out for good. Anyway, you probably know the story. If not, go read it. I'm not a Bible scholar, but if I remember right, it's in Genesis, somewhere in there. I don't remember exactly. But anyway, he moved up the line in Egypt and become like second in command, right under the Pharaoh, because of how smart and how gifted from God he was. God allowed him to know things that the rest of the people didn't know, prophetic things, dreams and interpretations. And the one was, I forgot how the Pharaoh described the dream, but what it boiled down to is there was going to be 7 years of good times. Everything was going to be smooth. People were going to prosper. There was going to be plenty of food. Everything was going to be in an abundance. Then you come up on 7 years of lean time. Maybe that's what we're doing. Maybe that's what we're going into. We've had 4 years of pretty good times with Trump. And, everybody has different experience, but I didn't really like Obama, but it wasn't the worst. It wasn't as bad as it could have been. Everything was relatively good. Now, I don't know whether Trump has some magic trick under his hat and he can turn this thing around. And if he gets a 2 terms, then that'll be 8 years of hopefully good times, the fat times they call it. But if not, maybe we've had our 7 years, or maybe it was only 4 years, and we're going into 4 to 8 years of hard times, lean times. So, what God told Joseph to do through those 7 years of fat times, good times, prosperity times. Anyway, here goes a big truck going by. Not ours, but one like it. Anyway, this was a before lunchtime video for y'all wondering. Still got my coffee in this cool cup that my wife had made for me for Christmas. Really nice. I used to not care much for coffee, but here lately, last week and a half, 2 weeks, I've been pretty much living off of it. I guess the more you get into prepping and the longer and grayer my beard gets, the more I enjoy coffee. But yeah, I actually have, I don't know if you can see, but I got a considerable amount of gray in my beard for 28 years old. But anyway, back to the point. Maybe we've had our 4 years. Maybe we're coming into 4 to 8 of bad times. So what God instructed Joseph to do is during those fat times, the good times, to store food back. Store your grains, things like that. To not only feed those in Egypt, but they had such good, those 7 good years, and they stored back so much food. They had food to sell or give out or whatever. I believe they sold, but they had access of food. And Joseph's brothers ended up having to come and, beg or buy food from the brother that they betrayed and sold into slavery. Funny how that works sometimes. But anyway, you get the idea. Hopefully you've been putting back food and doing the prepper things during these good times, the last, up until now. And possibly if things turn around, then we can, continue to have access, or stays relatively the same, do what you can, but we may be going into bad times. That's one of the good things about being a prepper. If you're wrong, it's actually a good thing. If you are prepping and think the world's going to end and things stay pretty normal, it's actually a good thing for everybody. And that's what I hope happens. Even if things stay the same or things get better, there's more access, I'm going to continue to prep, continue to homestead, and I encourage you to do the same thing, because it never hurts to be prepared. Like I said, if you've prepped up food and did the things like that, you hadn't lost anything if the world doesn't end. But if you're caught with your pants down, you may lose everything. The food, you can always rotate it, eat it before it goes bad. Another thing I try to tell people is I don't believe the price of food is going to go down anytime soon. Guns, bullets, food, stuff like that. I mean, you'll have little sales every now and then, but as far as actually coming down a considerable amount, I don't think so. Usually goes up. So if you buy food now, whatever, by next year at this time, maybe it's double the price, or maybe a third of the price. It's gone up from what it is now, because like I said, I don't think it's going down. You've actually saved money in the long run. That's what I think about it, and I think prepping is biblical. God, you have to have faith in God to protect you and to provide for you, but I believe there's a certain part that you have to do yourself. Like I said, he told Joseph, to work the fields, to prep the food, to store it back. He didn't just say, sit back and I'll take care of you. There has been instances in the Bible where, I think it was Elisha, that it was a raven brought him food every day at a certain time, and the Israelites wandering in the wilderness, God rained down manna from heaven. But I believe the majority, and like us nowadays, you have the means to, you know, do this stuff and kind of provide for yourself. I think God gives the opportunity, like to me, to be able to come out and work and to be able to make money and to be able to have land and animals and garden and things like that. It gives you the opportunity, but you have to do your part and he does his part. And that's what I believe. I don't believe he expects you to sit back and just count on him to do everything. And like I said, there's different instances in the Bible of different circumstances and different people. And maybe if you're somebody that you're disabled, you can't do these things. Maybe if you have some other kind of limitation that you're, you can't work, or for some reason, like all this virus going on, you lost your job, you can't do any better. You're doing all you can do on your end. I believe that God will help you through those, and he will make opportunities and make the way for you. But for people like me that have a job and the opportunity and ability to have a job and to work, I believe that's my part. God has provided the opportunity, and I have to take up the work and do the work to have these things. It says a man doesn't work shouldn't eat, and I believe that's true. Maybe you have a different opinion, maybe you agree. Either way, that's my philosophy on it. Like I said, even if things stay good, I'm going to keep pressing on, try to press harder, as a matter of fact. If things stay good like this, and I can come up with extra money and extra time and stuff like that, I have a ton of stuff that I want to add. I want to get my own tractor. I want to fence in some more land, possibly get a cow, maybe more goats, stuff like that. A lot of things like that. Some different projects I want to do around. Maybe add on to the chickens if I get more chickens. I believe chickens are a very good homestead, very good prep. They're the most efficient and low maintenance animal on the homestead. Chickens is the only animal that I know of, well, other poultry like turkeys and ducks and stuff, but the bird type is the only kind of animal that you can get food from without having to kill it, because they give you eggs and stuff. Anyway, like I said, I get a greenhouse. I need to do some more work in that, get it more efficient. I actually built a better door for it yesterday. I hadn't posted anything about that yet, but anyway, a lot of stuff going on. We've had a lot going on doing these hogs. It's been the last 2 weeks or so has been, long days and long nights, because we've been working full time and then doing that at night and weekends, and then you got holidays and stuff like that. So anyway, do the things. If you hadn't started prepping, start prepping. Start small. An extra can or two when you go to the grocery store, or do something. Learn new skills. We learned new skills butchering these hogs. We had never done it before. When I had them before, we took them to a slaughterhouse. I've done the salting down process and the smoking and all that before, but as far as the actual butchering, this was brand new. We had a good buddy of ours come up and help us and teach us how to do the first 3, but he couldn't come for the 4th one, so we did it on our own. But not as good as he is, not as fast, but you gotta learn. You gotta start. Just don't be afraid. Just jump in there. Whatever skill you need to learn, or think you need to know, or just want to know, just go for it. Worst thing you can do is screw it up or fail, and then just try harder next time. regroup, figure out what you did wrong, what you did right, and go from there. Life's a learning process. Life's a garden. Dig it. Anyway, that's all I got for this one. Stay prayed up, prepped up, strapped up. See you.